Hello, buddy. All right, so welcome to the Mikestand. Happy Sunday to everybody. Of course, it's Sunday, so it's our weekly look back at comics history. As we've been going through books that went on sale in April of 1940 from you know from that from different companies. This week we're going to be focusing in on Lev Gleason. But of course, before we do all that, I'm going to hand it off to my and a friendly reminder too, if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. With that being said, of course, and I hand it off to my co-host for the evening, Rick, to give him a chance if he'd like to maybe promote anything, introduce himself. You know the shtick, right, Rick?
Yeah, I'm going to put two links in the chat. One is for a music type video that Hero Shack did for me. It's more over on his channel, so if people want to go check that out, that's pretty cool. And then I want to hear something of mine from behind the scenes. I guess I will put up. Well, yesterday I did a live thing for my what you want to call it, um, drawing up my book called Insecto. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put a link to that live broadcast. It was a 2 hour show. If I can find my
Yeah, I think I
uh,
thought I think I saw some of the headlines for that. Or
so there is that link as well. So yeah, and for those that don't know, I am Rick Piper. I own a comic book company, and it's slowly being put out there with comics. So I guess that's it. And go check out my channel. Maybe subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Okay, I guess that's about it.
all right, so with that, let me just do one more quick little thing here. All right, so with that now, all right, so now we'll get into the feature presentation. You ready to do some reading tonight, Rick?
Yes, I am.
All right, we'll go as so. Why don't we get into the material then here? And we will get into Silver Street Cons Volume One, Issue 5 from Lev
And the other
Gleason.
great thing is now being where I am, um, less likely for my cousin to bother us while we're doing the reading.
Well, I mean, I didn't. Never mind. Rick. I really don't mind the company of women.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't usually mind the company of women. Um, Even ones I'm related to, I don't mind usually, but
Mhm.
um, just sometimes she could throw us off track. I guess is more what I mean.
Hmm.
You know, just because she can't hear you talk and she just suddenly blurts in something, and it's like, where did that come from?
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, let's get into this then. Here, so July, November 5th, silver 10 cents, Silver Streak Cons. Of course, as we often talk about, the cover date is usually 2 months after the on sale date. Just so we usually identify most of the stuff via the on sale date. So, can Lance Hale defeat the clawing monster? Danger Dynamite. Does Ace Powers escape this murderous maniac? You can build my latest invention. The plans are in this issue. From So, don't miss the exciting adventures of Dickie Dean, but the boy inventor. See how Dickie stops the raging flood. Jack Cole. All right. So there we go. Let's get into some of this stuff here. Charlie Burnett uses home recordo. Your own record at home.
Ooh, jeez, is that like making your own cassettes?
Yeah.
You're recording.
Like an old gramophone almost, or
Yeah.
Silver Streak. The finger of death points at Silver Streak, but when it strikes, so dear friend, there are some things you ought to know about Silver Streak. The real Silver Streak, as I know him, and draw him. Do not think of him only as a most unusual man, a man endowed with the speed of lightning. Think, too, of his great character, the motive behind his amazing actions. To me, Silver Streak is a real, yes, as real as the ideals you and I dream of. His purpose in life is to help others, to help those in need. Silver Streak does his best to make this world an ideal place, to live in a world in which you and I will have the things we most desire. And he is out to get those forces that stand in the way of his ideals. He fights hard. He is strong because he is right. He is fast because he needs speed to conquer his enemies. Silver Streak is my hero, and I hope he is your hero too, for he does the things that you and I would do if we had powers. Um,
Ralph John Carter or Ralph
yeah.
John Carter?
Well, I think Ralph John's creator, I believe, is what it says there. So, what do you think? You think you'd be going out helping people if you had superpowers, Rick?
I hope so, but I'd probably use them a little bit selfishly as well.
More selfishly, yeah. Yeah, I think that's just human nature, unfortunately.
Like instead of taking the bus and having to pay for the bus or whatever, I'd run to work, because you'd be there in like what 30 seconds or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, as we continue on here, on a secret in a secret temple somewhere in America, a strange cult of silver worshippers meet. You want to do the main guy right there?
Check. No longer will our sacred metal of the gods be used by the pagan land as a medium of comfort.
No, you forgot brothers the time.
Brothers,
You see that?
Yeah, that's what I started. Didn't I start that with that?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. I'll start again then. Brother, time has come for action. No longer will we be. No longer will our sacred metal of the gods be used by the pagan land as a medium of common barter. We will seize all the silver in America and force the government to use another metal as its standard of money.
Here,
They already
here,
do. It's called gold.
huh?
I said they already do. It's called gold.
Here, here. No idle boast is this. In less than a week, the country is outraged by a series of huge explosions and fires. In each case, the fires occur on the outskirts of a town. Entire fire and police forces are needed to fight the burning structures, and most of the populace is attracted to the scene. The old looky loo bit.
Yeah.
Then, while all eyes are on the fires, the banks are robbed, shops looted, everything of silver is stolen. Police are baffled. I'll be the cop on the left. You can be the cop on the right there. Blimey! Here's a 5 alarm fire that takes all our men to get things under control. And what happens when our is turned? Somebody walks away with the rest of the town?
Oh, it's uncanny. It's uncanny. Every bank in the city was robbed, but they only stole the silver currency.
And so it goes week after week. I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Among the many puzzled by such devastation is Silverstreak, fastest man in the universe. You want to do the radio guy, and I'll do Silverstreak right there.
Gosh, a terrific explosion rocked the city on eastern Ohio 5 minutes ago. As in, and what's that?
Entire.
An entire block is up in flames.
Here's my chance. Eastern Ohio, 500 miles from Silverstreak's home in New York. Can it be that he actually means to cover the distance in time to save the city from savage plundering? Impossible, you say? Yet, 5 minutes later, we find this rocket of a man well on his way. Must be Pittsburgh, judging by the smoke. You about to say something?
I was just going to say, well, even by car, 500 miles. I'm not sure whether it's 500 miles away from New York. I would think it was only a day journey to get to Pittsburgh from New York. Oh, maybe it could be 2 days. I'm not sure. By car, I'm thinking by.
And still another 5 minutes brings him to the fire in Easton. Hey, looks like someone trapped up there. A dumbfounded crowd watches the streak run straight up the side of the building, thanks to its special suction shoes. But it is Silverstreak's turn to be surprised, for in the window is a hot dog. Come on, boy. Don't wag your tail so much. You're fanning the fires. Oh boy, a dog fanning the flames.
He's not fanning the flames of justice, that's for sure.
Just as the fearless streak prepares to return to safety, the weakened structure crumbles about him. Oops! Leaping from the burning mass, Silverstreak lands on the side of the opposite building, sticking like a fly to the smooth wall. And look how they got the effect there. Look at how they drew the effect there, huh?
Yeah. It isn't too bad. Although, I guess they didn't really think about it. Well, the Flash doesn't exist yet, obviously. But the Flash would just run upside the building, not worry about sticky shoes.
Yeah. Right. Even keen eyes find it difficult to follow Silverstreak's actions as he leaves the dog and races towards bigger game. All right, you want to do the two guys right there, and then I'll do the girl.
Okay, risk his life for a flea. Risk his life for a flea bitten mutt. Loony. I called it loony.
You're just jealous of a real man. That's all. Soon, Silverstreak locates the bandit car. He leaps. Are you laughing? Did you find my woman my woman voice there funny?
Well, a little I usually do, probably, I think, but I wasn't laughing there, no.
Oh, it sounded like you were laughing. I thought maybe. So okay, so you be the gangsters after I be the streak here. So soon Silverstreak locates the bandit's car. He leaps. I'll give you just 10 seconds to stop this car.
It's the strike.
Without warning, the bandit car cuts a corner, scraping the Silverstreak off against the brick wall. I'll let you do the thugs there.
Silverstreak.
So long streak. That's what it
Yeah.
says.
Oh, did you finish that? You must
Well,
have
I finished the narration there.
Okay, just because I didn't hear you finish the narration.
Okay.
I probably cut them out on my end, but okay. So long, streak.
Uninjured but shaken, the streak gathers his wits. SS, you're a punch drunk goon for getting dumped like that. That's talking to himself there.
Yeah.
Picking up the trail, he arrives at the city docks just in time to see a boat speeding out to a waiting amphibian plane. Silverstreak's speed is so rapid that he runs right out of the water without sinking. They're getting away. Leaping headlong, Silverstreak skips over the lake like a stone. No, you don't. But the plane escapes. Silverstreak dives to the lake bottom and leaps upward, flying high out of the water in an effort to reach a plane, but he fails and returns to the the floundering prisoner. All right.
Yeah, it's the one in the
I'm just,
middle.
I'm just trying. I'm just trying to figure out exactly. So, at least I've got you returning to the shore. The street questions his catch.
You're refusing. You're wasting your time. I refuse to talk.
A man sworn into religious secrecy would rather die than betray his cause, be it right or wrong. Using different tactics, Silverstreak whirls his victim around, round and round. Centrifugal force draws the blood from the victim's head. We'll see. The helpless man slips into unconsciousness and begins to mumble in low, guttural tones.
State hospital.
Next on map, State Hospital. Got a hunch, just a hunch. Silverstreak turns the man over to the police. This done, he purchases a map and marks all cities previously visited by the mysterious mob. Now to draw a line from the first victimized city to the second, third, fourth, and so on. So he's gonna try to figure out what their map is, basically. Looks like.
Yeah. Or which state hospital might be.
Yeah. The drawn line reveals a startling bit of information. Gar these outrages were deliberately executed in this order to spell the word doom. Now if I fill out the word, it ought to indicate where the next raid is due. Finishing the incomplete word, Silverstreak locates the next doomed city on the map. Clayton, Ohio, and this mob raids 3 cities each night. It strikes. That means Clayton's State Hospital will be bombed in a few minutes. Or will it? To describe Silverstreak's top speed would only serve to retard it. 1 second he is in Easton, the next is in Clayton. Aha! Just in time. What the streak sees is an incendiary bomb being thrown from a car directly in front of the state hospital. And I'll let you be the thug right there.
The stage is set. Let's keep going.
With a brain that works faster than his body, Silverstreak decides then springs for the explosive missile. I ought to peg this back at you, but there are others to be considered. So he was considering throwing the bomb back at them. He cast it so far into space that the explosion is not even heard by the hospital's sick patients. Yeah, so he actually thought about the potential collateral damage if he threw it back at the crooks.
Yeah,
Uh,
which is good.
Ahead of the fleeing bandit car is a building yet in the construction stage, straight as straight as a die. The man who fights crime without weapons shoots for the top of the framework. Releasing the cable lock on the derrick, he dives he dives cable in hand at the sinister car. Then follows a series of amazing actions. In no time at all, the bandits find their car completely enveloped in cable wire. They cannot escape from the machine. Suddenly, the cable's reels out to its end and jerks the speeding car from the ground.
By the saints.
Hmm. Back at the derrick control, Silver Streak peels in. Ah, got a nibble. Hope it's over 6 inches. With the surprised cult members suspended in midair, Silver Streak speeds away. That'll hold you till the cops come. Inside the suspended car, I'll let you be the thugs again. Eh.
Quick radio message to the plane. They must escape.
But too late. Silver Streak spies the modern air pirate ship retreating in the heavens. There she goes. Leg muscles taut the human lightning bolt, whizzes toward the metal plane, and lands feet first, sticking to the under fuselage. Let's go! After some time, the craft releases some bundles and continues on its way toward city number 3.
The silver hideout must be below. Oh, actually, that's probably
Oh,
you.
yeah, the silver. The hideout must be below. Silver Streak wants to investigate below, but he doesn't want to lose the plane too. So I'll make this buggy take me down. Uh, and these silver hoarders are being fought against by the silver streak. Hey Rick,
Yeah.
he reaches out, stopping first one propeller and then the other. The bandit uh, flyers, unaware of Silver Streak's presence, um, think they have developed motor trouble. Just in case you try to start up again, Silver Streak positions himself at the plane's tail and steers it to land. A common thing we've seen with a lot of heroes, Superman in particular, where they'll take hold of the tail the tail wing of the plane and manually manipulate the plane.
Yeah.
right? With perfect navigation, he brings the ship lightly to the ground, much to the bewilderment of its occupants. Hope we land unseen. As the men, okay, so maybe that last line should have been you, maybe, but as the men emerge from the plane, Silverstreak springs to the attack. He smashes so rapidly from one thug to the next that he is completely invisible to them.
I'm shot. Hey.
With the last man out, Silverstreak whizzes toward a distant light. It won't be long now, and I've an idea who's behind all this. Instead of a ramshackle hideout, Silverstreak finds himself entering a beautiful old temple. A hooded figure speaks.
More silver for the melting pots. Soon we will have enough bricks of the sacred metal to build a temple such as the world has never seen.
Fanatics say this doesn't fit into the picture at all. Silverstreak leans hard against the time-worn pillar. A large chunk of overhead frieze suddenly breaks loose and falls, knocking him out. A spy felled by an act of the gods.
That is none other than Silverstreak. Into the pit with him. He must not get free to spoil our plans.
Oh, we're coming. It looks like we're coming to the climax of the story here, huh?
Yes.
Before I'm just wanting to check something here, see if anybody. No, I guess not.
No, I got the comments up, so so anybody say anything, I'd say something.
Yeah. Hooded men drop the unconscious Streak to a pit under the vat of white hot silver.
What is more fitting for Silverstreak than a tomb of silver?
Molten silver is poured over the Streak, but the instant hot metal touches him, it revives his senses, and he zooms through the metal with such speed that he isn't even singed. All right. So in one corner is a massive pile of silver bricks. Perching on top of them, Silverstreak bombards the advancing mob with stunning rapidity. A human machine gun! The Streak notices some of the silver bricks shatter against the wall. Why, these are just ordinary stone bricks covered with silver. Someone's been taking these poor devils for a ride. Like a shot, the solution comes to Silver Streak. He lunges for the leader. Let's see your face. Just as I thought. It's Gregory Randall, owner of Randall Silver Company. Men, you've been duped. This cheat has been replacing your bricks with dummies. He uses them to manufacture his silverware at practically no cost. He has set you on an insane mission solely to better his own financial standing.
Oh no, don't believe him.
In a fit of rage, the mob turns on its leader. Traitor! Kill him! Lynch him!
Wait, protect me from them. My whole fortune is yours if you get me out of here alive.
Keep the change. I'll save you for the electric chair. One, 2, 3 seconds, and Silver Streak is in the police station of a nearby town. Grab a squad car and run out to Burger's Woods. It'll be worth your while. Huh?
Who said that?
4, 5, 6 seconds, and he's back at the temple. Even before the mob can reach Gregory Randall, this place needs mopping up a bit. See, by the time the police arrive, the situation is well in hand. Ah, there you are. Here's the remains of the silver bandits that have been getting in your hair so much of late. But is this the end of the strange cult? If any of the members are still free, you can be sure they will seek revenge in next month's Silver Streak Comics. Silver Streak speaking. Boys and girls, you've just seen how easy it is for some folks to be misled. Don't ever let anyone talk you into doing something that you will be sorry for later. A minute of logical thinking may spare you years of regret. Wow, look at this. Look at that. A nice little PSA at the end there, huh?
Yeah, so the He-Man or G.I. Joe thing,
Yep.
in a comic, back in the 40s,
Yeah.
So that shows how far something like that goes back, even in comics.
Yeah. Well, I was aware of it because I've seen that before too, in some cases. But before we move on, overall impressions of the story.
Pretty good. It seemed pretty well put together, from what I could tell. Not too many leaps in logic, or ridiculous leaps in logic, at least. Well, maybe, but the only thing that I can think of is as far as I know, back then, the United States as well as Canada was on the gold standard, not the silver standard
Hmm.
for their money. So I guess that is about the only thing that I would think I would have a problem with this. It's like, yeah, don't. Your country doesn't go on the gold silver standards. Yes, silver is worth money, but
Hmm.
it doesn't make the money in your in the states worth money. It was the gold that did that.
Right.
As far
Well,
as I know, anyway.
yeah. Well, it was probably just a plot point that they just put together.
Yeah,
You know, as I know you've come in and you watch some of the other shows, and and of course I'm sure you've heard some of the conversations Metal and I have had talked about some of the logic that's used in this time period as well, where
oh yeah,
that these authors and writers don't have a lot of extensive knowledge in other disciplines, right? Like
yeah,
sciences and all of that, So,
yeah. But I would have thought something like that would have been fairly common knowledge back then. But you know, maybe it's not as much as I have. And like I've seen, yeah, I've probably listened to a little bit of you metal or whatever talk about it, or you and other people. Sometimes, a lot of times, I just end up putting it on and go watch something else. But to give you the view and the time, and I know I should probably watch, but even I've come across those logical things myself reading them here with you that to know what you're talking about. That these writers sometimes they go way out there with their stories.
right. And a friendly reminder to everybody, if you haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions before we'll try to answer the questions the best of our knowledge. And I need to step away for a moment. So, Rick, if
Yeah,
you want to talk to the chat, maybe promote anything, the shtick,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'll be right back.
Notice stick. Do I notice stick? Well, I don't know a stick to know, so I could go pick a stick up off the ground. I guess I could bring it in and get to know it, but this stick is it going to talk back? What's it going to tell me about itself to get to know? Oh, of course, I'm being a little facetious or whatever you want to call it. Just to say something to talk to somebody because I don't think we've got anybody out there in the chat at the moment to talk to. Let's see, does anything on YouTube say anything about anybody being here? It's just three are watching, so it's me, Mike, and somebody else. Well, it's good having you here, whoever you are. Um, I guess you can't type for whatever reason, or you just want to watch, or maybe you just have it on the background, like I do sometimes to give the watch time and all that for Mike, which is, all right too. Um, I'm not sure what the other couple of stories that we're reading are. This was definitely a streak to the past. Oh, was it a silver streak? I guess it was because that's what the story was. Silver
Yeah.
streak.
All right, so that was the lead feature. So, kind of got a few ideas on what we'll do next year. We'll continue on here. Well, thanks for holding the fort there, Rick.
Yeah, I did the best I could. There's,
All right,
fortunately, at the
so
moment, not much to hold, but
yeah. So as of course, aside from the features, the a lot of the comics at this time also had some like little featurettes, and Here's one: strange science facts. Castor plant. Castor plant is used in the manufacture of medicine, paint, flypaper, soap lubricants, um, linoleum printing, and castor oil. Yeah, castor oil, as we know, is not a fun thing for a lot of kids. And back in the, you know,
Yeah.
we talk about it when we look back on the classic cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. The discovery of synthetic coal tar dye was an accident. It occurred in a chemical experiment to synthesize quinine.
Okay. I have no idea what any of that is, but
Human hair is the basis of a number of chemicals worth 1,000 pounds, 1,000 a pound.
okay. What can I use my hair for?
An elephant's ears cool his blood as it circulates through his veins. Elephants cannot smell through their
Sweat.
skin or sweat through their skins. The habits of the wasp led to the discovery of paper. Their nests are built from wood chewed to a pulp. Bowling ball, made of rubber and chemical plastics, is truly round to within 1/2000th of an inch.
Oh,
Do you know it takes 2 tons of petals to make 1 pound of attar of roses? A
okay.
seedless watermelon has been developed at Michigan State College.
And you gotta love that something that would not go over today with that one piece of watermelon.
Oh yeah. I didn't even stop to think about that. Yeah. So Planet Patrol. Now, the red and I wasn't going to read this one because I didn't, don't care for the whole red and white bit there. But this is the next one we'll do. Ace Powers. What is the Panther Man's secret? Ace Powers thought he was dead, but the Panther is loose again. This time, he is more deadly than ever. All is quiet in the police morgue. The unclaimed bodies of criminals lie still under death, white blankets. But in the still of the morgue, one white sheet um,
Oh, that is.
pulls leg ahead appears to be moving. Ah, so they thought I was dead. I've fooled the great Ace Powers. I'm gonna let you be Ace Powers since I was the main character during the previous story. I'll let you be. Um,
Okay.
the guard is paralyzed with fears. He sees the fleeing figure. As he sees, holy smoke! A dead man, a ghost, and he's moving. The police receive word of the Panther's escape. I think Ace is the one on the right there. So, um, well, I'll be. Are you sure this message is straight?
What's wrong, Chief? You look like you've seen a ghost.
The Panda Man is alive. I can't understand it. He's escaped from the morgue. Ace, he's going to try to get you. You've got to find him first.
There's no telling what he'll do, but I'll be careful. It'll be awful.
The Panther returns to the asylum from which he escaped. I'll 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 get some of my old pals to help me. Then we'll get the Ace. The Panther Man calls on his cronies, three old criminals. Who's this guy? Three taps. He must be our friend. Where'd he get the crazy head? Must be disguising himself. He slips them a hacksaw with which to cut the bars. Cut these bars with this. Cut the bars with this. Then pass the saw to the others. We're all getting out of here. Okay, boys. We're out. Let's go. Led by the Panther Man, the group make their escape unseen. In a deserted shack on a lonely road. Now that we know the secret of this room, we must stick together. Ace Powers is our deadliest enemy. Repeat this oath after me. Giving them masks like his, the Panther Man enlist a pledge from his gang. Ace Powers is our enemy. He must die. We disband after he's buried in the ground below this room. Later, in Ace Powers' room,
No news of that Panther Man. Yet wondering who's calling.
but as the detective finishes talking, he sees the panther heads reflected in the mirror.
Oh, I've got to get the Panther Man. Panther, he's dangerous. What's this?
The Panther men come crashing in as Ace leaps for his gun. This is your finish, Ace Powers. Too late to get at his gun, Ace leaps on the chandelier.
Not so fast, boys. Here goes.
Swaying back and forth, the detective batters the Panther men.
Pardon my feet.
when suddenly the weakened fixture comes crashing down. As we know, yes, as we know, chandeliers are not meant to support human weight for long, right?
Yeah.
Now we'll get him. Pounce on him, men. The Panther men leap at Ace. Grab him! The fool thought he could kill us all. And a sharp blow renders the detective unconscious. Now I've got you, Ace Powers. But as the Panther men leave with their victim, the alert eye of the cop on the beat sees them. Want to do the cop up the beat right there?
Okay. Smith talking. All's well. Hold it. Trouble for Ace Powers. Have plane scout around after black sedan. We'll try to signal some way.
The Panther men carry the stunned detective away. Get him into the car, boys. In a flash, the policeman charges after them and leaps to the rear of the car as it speeds off.
What a break. I've got to get to the top so the police plane will see me.
Say anything. There's a man on top. There's a man on top of the cars. He looks like a policeman. Oh, police scouting the area see a figure clinging to a speeding car. Meanwhile, in the car below, a police plane is following us. We're being followed. Quick, make a sharp turn into the side road ahead.
It's like you're being seen by a plane. I don't think that's going to work so easy.
As a car swerves around, the policeman is thrown from his perch.
Why the...
At the Panther's hideout, carry him in and lay him on the table. Get the shovels and begin digging. We'll bury him now. So they're going to bury him alive, basically.
Yeah.
We're coming up on the hour mark now.
Yeah.
The killers are too busy to notice Ace regaining consciousness. Deeper and wider. It'll make a nice grave for the detective.
I'll surprise them when they come for me.
Ace's arms and legs shoot out as the Panther men rush him.
I'm ready, boys. I don't bury so easy.
The detective unleashes a hail of blows.
I've been waiting a long time for this. I hope my aim is good. A little present for you boys.
The Panther Man draws a knife as Ace heads for the door. This'll stop him. By spinning around sharply, the detective ducks the knife.
Your aim's as cuckoo as your head.
Enraged, Ace leaps at the Panther Man.
This time I'll make sure.
As the others prepare to help their leader. Quick! He's got the chief! Ace raises the Panther Man high over his head.
I'll stop them.
Hurling the leader at them, Ace sees the men go crashing into the wall. The weakened structure gives way, and the men all fall into the grave dug for Ace Powers.
They're buried in their graves. Or they dug for me.
Later, the police arrive. I thought you were a goner. I thought you were a goner. Where are the Panther Men?
Buried under the wreckage. Be careful when they do you dig them out. They may bite.
What did the Panther Men mean when they said, "We know the secret of the room"? Ace Powers smashes his way into new surprises in the next issue of Silver Streak Comics. All right, so now we're done with that one, Rick. Overall impressions?
Pretty good. Actually, I think it's probably slightly better than the first one because there is, I'd say, less of the caption stuff. The last one seemed to be very just.
The last one had more narration involved than an actual dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not something that I thought of right away, but as we started reading this one, I thought of it, so I think this one, well, there might have been about the same amount of action. This one might have had a little bit more action.
Yeah. Well, I think, too, in all fairness, too, usually the first and last stories of a book are usually the longest. As you know, we've looked at these. Usually the first and last story are usually like 12 to 13 pages, and all the stories in between range anywhere from like 6 to 8 pages, or 6 to 9 pages usually.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can get up as much as 10, but so. All right. So, anyways, with that, let's get ready to move on to see. We're just past the hour mark, so we'll see what else.
Oh, you're looking, or I'm just gonna grab a drink and something here.
All right. I'm gonna get. All right. So as we wait for Rick to come back here, I think we'll do the Lance Hale story here next. Got a girl in it. And again, a friendly reminder to everybody, of course, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the live stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we will try to answer the question to the best of our ability.
Also, be right back. I can't hear you. I gotta go to the washroom.
All right. As we wait for Rick to come back. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the show thus far. We've been, getting through some, sometimes some of these smaller companies, they only do one book at a time or one book every couple months or so, just because they're getting their feet wet. So, but hopefully we can find all these nice and anthologies and with numerous adventures. Keep everybody engaged. So we had a detective there. We had a superhero. Now I think we got a kind of a jungle adventurer here, so I think I grab him here. As I said, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the question the best of our ability. You back, Rick, or I guess he's not back quite yet.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to do Lance Hale here next.
Okay.
So, all right, so returning from the danger-crowded caverns of Rhodesia, Lance Hale carries with him his dead uncle's legacy of wealth, not knowing that it contains another legacy of horror and life or death struggle. Boarding a ship for his native America, Lance always carries the box of jewels. With this treasure, I can do a lot of good in the world. Stop plenty of crime and misery. Kind of a la Batman kind of guy, huh? But just not. I don't think he's just gonna adopt a costume identity, though.
Yeah.
The adventurer is spied by lurking figures. I'll let you be the bad guys there.
The gem of evil is in that box. We gotta get it.
Let's see. Who warily approach him? Who warily approach him? Oh, okay. Lance whirls to meet the sudden attack. Strong arm boys, huh?
Get the jewels.
And sees victory near at hand. Pulling a bomb from his coat.
This'll fix that wild guy.
The gangster blasts away a section of the liner. Scooping up the treasure box, the criminals clamber overboard to a waiting boat.
Now we'll make our getaway. The sharks will finish that tough adventurer.
Revived by the contact of cold water, Lance swiftly heads for the liner, with a fin cutting the water at his back. Oh, look at that! That's got to be kind of frightful, huh?
Yeah. But well, depending on what type of shark it is, of course. If the shark was that close to him, I think he'd know it.
Yeah.
I think the shark would be touching him underneath the water.
Yeah.
The
But
shark might even be able to do a little chomp chomp.
yeah. The
Unless, of course, it's baby
this
shark.
water this water is filled with sharks. I'd better hustle out of here.
And the other thing is, they did find them pretty fast, those sharks.
The hungry shark glides forward. There comes a man-eater now, and after me. But ducking. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, comes, he's on top of you.
But ducking the vicious lunge, Lance drives a deadly blow into his vitals. That's one shark less in the Pacific. Leaping aboard, he sees the fleeing mobsters. Captain, I've got to have a speedboat to catch those men. I'll let you be the captain as well.
Quite a right, Mr. Oh,
Seeing Lance's approach, the fugitives mount a small cannon.
there comes that new guy again. Fire away!
And a direct hit sends the boat up in a shattering blast. Whew! They certainly got the broadside that time. Saved by a quick dive, Lance watches the departing boat. The rats, I'm not finished with them yet. The men report to Larita, their cruel leader.
We got rid of that. We got rid of that hell guy. Just as you said. And here's the jewels.
Well done. Now, leave me. Weird lights radiate from the glittering stone. When I was in Africa, I was told the gem of evil could summon the shadow monster. Oh, something is appearing. With her shrewd mind locked in deep hypnosis, she calls again and again. I bid you appear. I bid you appear. And the distorted figure of the seed of the Shada monster appears, ugly and menacing. At last I've done it. I've come to do your bidding, O mistress. She unleashes the horrible monster on a sleeping metropolis. Metropolis. On a sleeping metropolis. Go, do as I have commanded. A ship is sunk for insurance purposes. The entire country is terrorized by the shadow monster. Banks are looted, cashiers murdered in cold blood, and so far the law is powerless in his path. But Lance Hale, having battled through miles of ocean, scours the city for thieves of the gem of evil. I've got to find out. I've got to find the monster and shatter it, before more people feel its wrath. Seeing an excited crowd gathered at the bank, what's the commotion down in the street there? These officers are in trouble. I've got to help. Lance springs forward to find the monster at another raid. He immediately leaps into the melee. The enraged beast slams Lance against the wall. Hold him, men. Don't let him get oof. Fighting his way clear, the shadow monster slings through dark alleys. Not realizing that the fighting Lance had closed on his tail, I'll trail him to his hideout. I've got to find out who's behind this. As he nears the trail's end, a gunman quietly stops him. What the?
Just a little surprise, neighbor.
Reaching the doorway. So this is a little cozy hangout.
It's Lance Hale, boys. Luca will be glad to see him.
Will she? I mean, wouldn't she please that they got rid of him?
Yeah.
I don't know. Will she or won't she? I guess we'll find out soon enough.
The fact that he's alive, I don't think she's gonna like that.
Yeah.
She knows I'm dead.
Lance whirls like a tornado and goes into action. And I'll be very glad to see her.
Well,
Picking up the fallen man's gun, this is a little argument we forgot to finish. Noticing the huge hand reaching from behind him, take that, you rats. How does your own medicine taste? Just as he starts to crush Lance, Loretta dashes from another room and halts him. Hold your hand, old monster. Hold your hand, old monster. A quick death. Too good for him. It's too good for him. Bring him into the other room. Why are you stalling around? First, I'm going to make you a proposition.
I'm not that kind of guy.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm just joking. She said she's gonna make him a proposition. He says, I'm not that kind of guy.
I control the gem of evil, but I need a man like you, Lance. We can be rich, you and I together. Nothing doing. I don't join up with demons. Not even beautiful female demons. Look at her face when he says that. Look at her face. That looks demonic. That look looks demonic, don't you think?
Yeah. It sort of goes with what I said. He says, I'm not that kind of guy.
You fool. Those words will seal your own death warrant. Strike him motionless, take away his senses. The fire will grow, burn you crisp. Now I will leave to destroy my useless servants. When Lance recovers consciousness, he finds himself dangling head downward above a leading flame.
Leaping flame.
Leaping. Okay, I wasn't sure. Couldn't tell if that was a P or a D there.
Yeah. I think it makes more sense for it say leaping because it's leaping upwards, a
Yeah.
flickering of fire. But it's not leading him anywhere, right?
Well, maybe to his death. Doubling up his mighty muscles, straining, Lance snaps the ropes like threads. Now to get out of the mess. Meanwhile, Loretta orders the death of her henchmen. I have no more use for those stupid fools. Kill them.
Don't let him kill us. Ow!
As the monster is kept busy, Lance hurtles from the chamber. It's now or never. You, I thought you were dead by now. Not yet. Give me that gun and the gem. There goes the evil gem. Now the monster. As the gem is destroyed, the monster loses power. It's your turn, you ugly duckling. And Lance smashes him to bits against the wall. Loretta, unable to face capture, leaps into the roaring flames. I have failed. This is the end. Her pride. Oh wait. With the monster destroyed, Lance thinks only of new adventures. Her pride wouldn't allow her to face defeat, but it's just as well. Follow Lance Hale in the next issue of Silver Streak Comics. All right, so overall impressions, Rick.
Not too bad. It seemed like a good combination of the first two. There seemed to be a little bit more narration in this than the second one, but more dialogue than the first one. So, yeah, this is pretty good. Not too many leaps in logic that I can think of. It seemed pretty decent writing. The the only thing I might say about this one that seemed a bit inconsistent is the size of this monster. Sometimes he seemed to be like the size of a regular human. Sometimes he seemed to be like the size of a kaiju. From so that I guess we're not really sure of his powers, or we're not really told. He's only lasting this issue, it seems, so not sure whether it matters or not. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing that
I doubt if it's going to be like if it's going to be a continuing character or anything like that. Obviously,
yeah.
I mean, the monster wasn't even given a name, for crying out loud, right?
Yeah. But
right.
yeah. So that's all I can really think of for this. A little bit of critique.
All right. So now we'll get ready to move on to the next story, which might be the last story we'll do. We're at an hour 25 here, so I think we'll do like one more story here.
Yeah. And then you're going to probably get on to this weekend in each history.
Yeah. I'm going to do the story of aviation, then we'll do one more story there. So,
Okay.
early plans for flying. Let's see. Man has always wanted to fly. He envied birds. They could get from place to place very quickly and easily, while man had to walk. Nearly 500 years ago, Leonardo da Vinci, famous artist, studied many birds trying to find the secret of their flight. And as we know, he built himself a few model airplanes and helicopters, as it were. 1593, a man whose name is unknown drew plans of a parachute, but called it the Flying Man. Let's see. Lana's airship, 1670. Lana had an entirely different idea. A ship floated in the air, four huge hollow copper balls, thin as tissue paper and devoid of air, supported a boat in which a man could ride. A lack of money prevented him from carrying out his scheme. And
So this is what he had designed, but he couldn't do it because he didn't have probably the money for the copper.
Yeah. In 1675, Besnier, a Frenchman, jumped from a window and landed uninjured with the strange apparatus, but he was gliding, not flying. Look at that.
Yeah. Hundreds of years have passed, but still no man has not learned to fly.
In 1783, Joseph and Stephen Montgolfier discovered that a linen bag with paper, when filled with hot air, would rise. After many trials, they sent up a large balloon. A little basket hung from it containing a sheep, a duck, and a hen. The first air passengers. Look at that. Hot air ballooning.
Yeah.
Came about in 1783.
Two could fly, maybe, and one could not of the passengers.
Mm-hmm. Having found a way to go up in the air, man now wanted to direct his course. Continued. I don't know if that's going to continue or if there's basically going to. Oh, yeah. Story of Aviation, page 2. After years of trials, experiments, and failures, the balloon, which rose and drifted with the wind, became the great airship of today. But they were still lighter than air. Some of these blimps that we've seen here. Let's see. Finally, after many ideas were tried, in 1852, balloons filled with gas were built in the shape of a cigar. All right. And had small steam engines, turning propellers, and were steered by rudders. In 1896, Lilienthal, by watching a stork flying, developed the glider, but could not keep it from tipping sideways. Wright, Wilbur and Orville Wright, in 1903, after many experiments, discovered what Lilienthal could not. They made the first successful flight of a heavier than air machine at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, December 17th, 1903, a distance of a quarter of a mile. In the next few years, many astounding actually, still many improvements were to be made, and today, giant luxurious airliners are able to fly under nearly all conditions.
Yeah, I think you're right to read that one of the yellow first.
In the next few years, many outstanding improvements were made on Wright's model. And in 1927, Charles Lindbergh flew alone across the Atlantic Ocean from New York to Paris in 33 hours. Man has learned to fly. Oh, that was kind of a nice little featurette there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So hour 31. So as I said, we'll probably get through this and then we'll start to wrap things up afterwards. So I'm gonna still do the narration, but I'm gonna let you be Dickie Dean, the boy inventor.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Dickie Dean, the Boy Inventor by Jack Cole. Dickie Dean is no superhuman. He is just an average American boy who has developed within himself the ability to figure out, probably by logical deduction, his inventions are not works of magic, but the result of sensible thinking. You too can develop an inventive mind. Look about you and pick out the little things that you think could be improved. For instance, a man had trouble finding a keyhole in the dark. He put a tiny funnel on it. Um, so the key um, would slide right in. Now you try one. At home, Dickie Dean answers the doorbell. Permit me to introduce myself. Hap Wilson, Universal Press Corps press correspondent, and your new neighbor.
Won't you come in?
I've heard so much about you that I'd like very much to get a behind the scenes interview, just what is in back of these startling inventions.
A good lab and a little knowledge is about all it takes. This is my chemistry corner. Then there's the machine shop, big help in construction work. Besides this, I have an electric shop, library, and a carpenter shop.
Never seen more compact laboratory and paid for out of the proceeds of your inventions. But how about a preview of one of your future inventions? Can't you give me an idea of what you're working on now? It'll make a great story.
I'll do better than that. I'll show you it to you. Have an apple?
Thanks. Handy gadget. That. Opening a door, Dickie shows the news correspondent a strange looking craft.
There she is, but I can't tell you anything more about her just yet.
Oh, come on. Come. Oh, come. Don't leave me hanging in midair like this. What is it? A super speedboat or something?
If you really want to know, come around when the spring floods begin to rise in the Ohio River. That is, if they do.
Dickie Dean, I'm going to take you up on that. A week passes, 2 weeks, then a heavy downpour drenches the Allegheny Mountains sector for 3 days straight. Rivers rise rapidly. Hap Wilson is among the first to receive news of the flood. Here's that man again. Here's that man again. The Ohio's up, and so is my curiosity.
Golly, I'm glad you came. My friend is away and I have no one to help me with the test. Would you go in his place?
Eagerly, the two place the boat on top of Hat's car and drive down to the river's edge.
All
Also,
set.
oh, go
All
ahead.
set. Hop in.
And still, the young genius prefers to keep me in the dark. Note: electrolysis is the breaking up of water into the element by electricity.
I thought you might like to figure it out for yourself. Watch.
By Zeus, the river is bubbling all about us, and the water is receding. Would it be too wild a guess to say this is some sort of giant electrolysis? All right, so maybe I should have read that thing below it afterwards, but oh well.
Oh, that's it. If things work out right, this will be the solution to the annual problems of the floods. The generator inside gives off a current so strong that the water is changed into the original elements of hydrogen and oxygen gas with a radius of 100 yards from the boat.
The boat is made up of two metals, zinc on one side and copper on the other. The current travels into the water um, through the boat bottom and is so powerful that it doesn't require the presence of sulfur, and to aid the circuit, see last page of story for details. So look at that. Just look at that. All that right there. You got the generator on the back there, master switch, unbreakable glass cover, slides in place.
And
Oxygen tank. Look at all this. Wow, this they had this kid be something, didn't they?
yeah, and I don't think this is good enough of a schematic to make it. Like he was claiming on the cover.
Yeah.
Unless that's not the schematic he was talking about.
Yeah. I never would have believed it possible. Look at the water level fall. Meanwhile, sinister things are being enacted further up the river. A dangerous gang of high water pirates are systematically plundering the flooded homes under the evil leadership of Sin Bartlett. There's the Ripper house ahead. Oughta be something juicy waiting for us. What with all the sugar they've got? You said it, Sin. But the home is not empty. A pretty Jane Ripper is trapped on the second floor. Help! Oh, I thought you were. No, this ain't no rescue squad. Hand over your jewelry. One measly diamond. Say, who ya kiddin', Ripper? I know you got more'n that. I see it in the papers. Now fork over. But they're not here. Look at her face there.
Yeah. Well, he's holding her arm very tight, so she looks like she's in pain.
She's like
Either that or she looks like something else is happening.
like she's terrified.
Yeah. Either that or she looks like something else is happening. The way he's positioned.
Oh, scared something less?
No, not scared. A different feeling. He's right behind her.
Hmm. Maybe after a little persuasion, you'll change your mind. String her up by the hair. That's it. Please don't. A large pail is tied to Jane's feet. I'm gonna toss junk in this bucket until you decide to talk. No, you could not, you couldn't be so cruel. Outside, Dickie and Hap are passing by when Jane's cries ring out.
What's that?
Must be someone marooned in that house. Upon investigation, they find Jane suffering great torture, fighting mad. Dickie and Hap burst in upon the scene. Don't touch that girl.
I'll cut the girl loose.
Cops. No, just a man and half after him. All right, and then you. Okay.
Well, you're the.
10-1. You sissies are too yellow to last a fight out without drawing gats. We'll take that bet.
I'll cut the girl loose.
But as the two begin to gain the upper hand, one of the thugs draws his gun. True to Hat's prediction, I'll fix you. Dickie, an expert at jiu-jitsu, leaps for the killer, striking the nerve center at the side of his neck. This paralyzes the ugh. Another bandit reaches for his gun, but Dickie beats him to the draw with a pocket squirt gun.
Of some acid.
My eyes! I'm blind! With the thugs subdued, Dickie and Hap tie them up and lock them in a room.
But it was what? Oh, okay.
Hold on. Oh. Dickie, don't you know you can be arrested for toting toting an acid gun?
But it was only water. I made him think it was acid, and his imagination did the rest.
What a trick!
Yeah.
What a trick!
And I'm not sure whether that would be illegal or not, but toting an acid gun because it's not like they're really that common.
Well, the idea of possibly using potentially a dangerous weapon or dangerous force there. Dickie and Hap take Miss Ripper to shore.
She's not sure who's who here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what? Well, bust my suspenders. If it hadn't been for your quick thinking, our goose would be cooked by now. How do you feel, Miss Ripper? Much better. How much better? How can I ever thank you to? Here, won't you take this ring as a reward?
Heck, ma'am. Heck, ma'am. We couldn't do that.
Anyway, you're going to get something from me.
Ooh.
Oh, I just she's even younger than we thought. I was thinking she was like closer to Hap's age, but from this
Yeah.
age, from this viewpoint, she looks more like she's closer to Dickie's age. I didn't even realize that. What about my reward? You may have half of Dickie's. Goodbye and thanks a million. I'll tell the police to pick up those bandits. However, back at the Ripper home, water had risen above the floor level. This leather belt stretches in water. Ah, free. Wouldn't tell you we gotta scram. Piling into their speedy craft, the pirates set out. Wide open, there's plenty of work to do before morning. Dickie sets the electrolysis machine in motion again. Oh boy, I wonder what's about to happen. Electrolysis machine in motion again, just as Hap spies the pirates heading for another flooded building. They're loose. Say, can you turn this machine on fuller?
You bet.
The water about them churns wildly when Dickie increases the current. Shortly, the bandits find themselves beached on dry land. Hey, what's the matter? Something's mighty queer about this. No flood could drop that fast. Back into the drink, boys. As soon as the thugs launch their boat, Dickie gives another blast of the super generator and places them back on dry ground. Time after time, time after time, this happens. Man, this got to be something right out of a cartoon or something like that, huh?
Yeah.
Blast it! What is this? Hey, Sin, that boat out there. Maybe it's the Jinx. The faster pirate craft heads out to deep water, overtaking Dickie and Hap. I think it's you.
The glacier cover is shut. We'll have to dive to safety.
Dickie pilots his subboat directly under the enemy and steps up the voltage. Giant bubbles and hydrogen and oxygen boil to the surface. We're capsizing! As the bandits fall overboard, one of them fires his gun. Rising hydrogen is ignited by the powder flash and explodes. The end of the merciless mob of killers. Dickie and Hap return to the.
Go ahead. You got that.
Dickie and Hap return to the surface.
They're dead. Go. I mean, I only meant to capture them. Now I'm a murderer.
Easy, boy. It wasn't your fault. Think of all the lives you're going to save. Wow. All right. So let's see it. Well, we haven't seen the end part yet, but that might. We'll see. Oh yeah, there is a little bit more there. Let's see. Hap's comforting words cheer Dickie up. They set forth. Look, someone's trying to hold a baby above water. Once again, the electrolysis machine lowers the river into its regular channel. Thank heaven, you're safe, Mama. Mama is so tired. Goo. Dickie and Hap approach a sandbag levee about to collapse. I'll let you do that, guy, since I've been.
More sandbags! She's getting away!
I'll let you do those two, too.
The flood! It's gone! Can't believe it!
As a terrified family on a raft nears destruction. Save us! Help! We're doomed! Land! It's a miracle! He answered our prayers! He heard us! Yeah, some Christianity going on there.
Yeah. Well, any sort of religion, because you could attribute it obviously to Christianity, but
Right.
It could be Jewish people, it would be Muslim, but they look
like they right there. Yeah.
It looks like they're more Christian than.
Yeah. And so it goes all night long. Dickie and Hap speed up the river, saving lives and leaving a normal flow of water behind them. Dickie tells how he hopes to see his electrolysis outfits in use on all rivers to control floods. Now that does sound like a very interesting invention, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Full invention at that. Gray dawn of another day finds the two returning home, weary but happy. The many experiences of the night have made them close friends. Hap is filled with admiration for Dickie. Like to see the Pittsburgh Pirates play Saturday? Hmm. He's one in a million. I'd like to tell him so too, but it would only embarrass him.
Would I? You bet. Gosh, swell guy, up is.
Next morning, Dickie, you've got company. A great crowd is gathered to pay young Dickie proper tribute. We want Dickie Dean! There he is! Hooray for Dean! Speech!
Gosh.
Dickie Dean continues his amazing exploits in the next issue of Silver Street Comics. Watch for the invention that will defy one of the most deadly enemies of mankind. It's electrifying. It's different. It's worth waiting for. Dickie Dean's Workshop. I think that yellow part right there is.
Hey, here's how you can make a small electrolysis outfit that works just like mine.
Yeah, I think just watching it. Let's see. Watch for the next month's experiment. It's a Pippin. So look at that. All right. So overall impressions of that story, Rick.
Um, Pretty good. I think it's the one I like the most of the evening.
You did it again. You did it to me again. You kind of jumped ahead a tad there.
Yeah, well, we're coming up to that second hour mark, so I figured I'd
Kind
maybe
of
get a
clicking it
little.
up.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I'll just ask it anyways. So of the feature, let's see. I think we did what 4 or 5 features tonight.
Four
So
features. Well, four major features. You know, you read a couple of those minor
Easter
things
eggs,
like
yeah,
the airplane thing, the
yeah.
history of flight.
Um, yeah, but of the features that we read tonight, which one would you say is the one you like the most?
Probably the last one, Dickie Dean. It seemed a little bit. Um, it seemed well, there wasn't a lot at all of the what you call it the captions, the narration. There was a bit, obviously. I'm pretty sure. It just seemed to flow pace. Seemed a good. Um, the story seemed like fun, a little bit fun and uplifting or whatever. You know, especially with the kid. You know,
Right.
him making
Well,
this
I
invention.
mean, nothing can brighten a day than a kid doing extraordinary things. In this case, becoming an inventor and scientist and all that.
Yeah,
And I think it was a good story, to get kids reading too, because I mean, and you also see, of course, his, the kid's perspective too, like when he realized that he inadvertently killed those gangsters and all that, and seeing all
yeah.
that too. So, all right, well, with that, so of the remaining features, which one would you say was the one that you liked the least?
Um, I think with what I've said, you know, in between stuff and all that, I'm probably gonna say the first one, and just probably because it's a lot more narrative driven. Uh, some narrative driven stories can be good, some not so good, but it just seemed, I don't know, with the way it was done, it just seemed to drag it out a little bit more. You know, it made it seem like it was taking forever to read, and maybe it did take a little bit longer to read because it was so narrative driven. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, and it was the longest story. I think it was like 11 or 12 pages too. So
Yeah, so that might be it too. But I guess it depends on how you do a narrative driven, where, you know, even if you're doing 11 or 12 pages, you know, it can seem short even with that. And it's like I said, it's not that it was that good. I think I said it was all right at the beginning. There wasn't too much wrong with it. It was that little bit of, I think, the narrative driven, which made it seem a little less more. If we're gonna use a word boring, not that it was all that boring, but just seemed to make it drag out a little bit, compared to the rest of the stories.
All right. So, anything more you want to add to that before we
Not
move
that
on
I
to
can think of at this
start wrapping
time.
things up here? All
Yeah.
right. So with that, so today is of course Sunday, January the 19th, 2025. So why don't we take a look back at this weekend? Neat history. So first off, we go back to yesterday. You go back 8 years ago yesterday. On yesterday's date, 8 years ago, the first issue of Curse Words from Image Comics went on sale on yesterday's date 8 years ago. Sold for $39, 40 pages. Written by Charles Soule, with art lettering and coloring done by Ryan G. Brown. Lettering also done by Chris Crank and Sean Despasquale, and then colored also by Jordan Boyd and Michael Parkinson. The first issue of Curse Words from Image Comics went on sale on yesterday's date 8 years ago, back in 2017. Moving ahead to the next piece in each history from yesterday, going back 5 years ago yesterday, premiering throughout Japanese theaters after 6 days after premiering in Tokyo, premiering in Japan overall. High School Fleet the movie premiered in Japan throughout Japan on this date 5 years ago today. So 5 years ago today, A1 Pictures High School Fleet the movie premiered in Japan throughout Japan on this date 5 years ago, back in 2020. Or on yesterday's date, rather. Now, moving on to today's date. Okay, so going back 90 years ago today, on this date, 90 years ago today, back in 1935. Back in 1935, Walt Disney's Mickey's Man Friday and Warner Brothers' Mr. and Mrs. Is the Name both premiered in theaters on today's date 90 years ago today, back in 1935. So Walt Disney's Mickey's Man Friday and Warner Brothers' Mr. and Mrs. Is the Name premiered on this date 90 years ago, back in 1935. So now, moving on to the next piece in each history. Move ahead to 10 years ago, 2015, on this date in 2015. Yeah, 10 years ago today. On this date. So on this date, as part of their go home Raw before that year's Royal Rumble, WWE held its Monday Night Raw from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. And on the go home Raw before the main event saw John Cena defeat Seth Rollins, Big Show, and Kane, and Stephanie in a 3-on-1 handicap match with, of course, J&J Security and Stephanie McMahon and Triple H in their corner. Also, the match saw Rusev defeat R-Truth via submission. Natalia and Paige defeated Alicia Fox and Summer Rae via submission. A New Day of Big E and Kofi Kingston defeated the Brass Ring Club of Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. The show opened up with Bray Wyatt defeating Daniel Bryan. So there we go with that. Now, before we head out, as we wrap things up here with that, I am going to hand it over to Rick real quick here. Let him know if he wants to promote anything, do any.
Well, what I will promote my latest video over on my Pied Piper of Hamilton channel, where I did a snack video. It's a little bit late coming out. It's a Christmas. I shouldn't call it Christmas snack, but bag of chips, flavored chips called the holiday table. So jerk. I don't think jerk chicken, or was this the tiki something? I'm not sure. Offhand. I think it was the tiki molasses. I have no idea what it has to do with like a holiday table, like for Christmas dinner, or for you guys for what's the name of it? Thanksgiving, because they were out around that time. These things, so like I said, it's a little late coming out, but better late than never, right? I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's about all for me. And let's just go over to my channels. Look them up. Cross Comics. Watch some videos. Hit the likes. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share them out. Get other people knowing about my channels.
All right. Anything more you'd like to add before we wrap up here, Rick?
Not that I can think of it this time.
All right. If you can stick around for a couple minutes after the show for post show and all that, that'd be appreciated. All right. Well, with that, I thank everybody for being here. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Of course, back here tomorrow night with more niche news. And of course, we'll be back here next week, in which Apex from Apex Comics will be joining me. We'll be continuing our look down Comics History Lane in April 1940. I believe next week we'll be looking at comics that went on sale from Novelty Press. And also, if you guys want to go over to my YouTube page, of course, of the community page, I have the schedule for my coverage of May of 1940 up. So if you want to take a sneak peek at what we'll be covering and when for May of 1940, it's up on the community page already. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.